In today's Modern Warfare 2 video, we're going over the Gunsmith. This is the Gunsmith 2.0, and they just laid out a whole bunch of information, so we're gonna go break down the trailer and show you guys everything you need to know about it. If you haven't enjoyed today's video, give it a like, subscribe, notifications turned on, and let's hop into this. Okay, so this could be the Gunsmith 2.0 trailer here. I'm gonna go through, we're actually gonna kind of react to this, and also I'm gonna break this down for you guys because I had to go through and watch this a few different times, also talk to some of my friends to kind of really figure out exactly what's going on here in Gunsmith 2.0, because it's unlike anything we've ever had, and that's actually a very good thing. So let's get into it here. So this is how they designed Gunsmith 2.0 for Modern Warfare 2. And this is just came out here like literally an hour ago.
And I'm a senior UX designer. Gunsmith itself has a whole new environment. It is an updated interface.
Okay, so I gotta pause this right here for you guys. So this is the brand new sort of like Gunsmith here within Modern Warfare 2.
That makes it feel like you are in a gunsmithing space.
Correct. So this is pretty much the goal of this right now. This is pretty much like your more or less your creative class screen, and so you can see you have your pretty much your first gun down here, which is going to be the Cinder M4, the FJX Cinder. Actually, somebody just uploaded a short on here. That's the very first weapon variant that you guys are actually going to be able to get here for free and to be able to use within the Modern Warfare 2 beta. And of course, the game comes out. You have the M4, pretty much your primary, your secondary, your tactical, which is the shock stick here, your lethal, the thermite, and of course, then you have some perks in here with your perk package, and then your tactical camera, your field upgrade, which is something we really haven't seen in a while. That kind of reminds me back to Black Ops 1. But let's continue this thing here, and I'll break down some more stuff for you.
My name is Ben Garnell, principal artist. They're going to see, first of all, the M4 platform. And
okay, so this is something I have to break down for you guys here real quick. So we have a few different things here that we're going to be able to choose from. So you can see the weapon level is level 1 out of 20. And so I got to actually break this down here even a little bit further and not just tell you guys that there's 20 levels for this weapon, because that's for the version of this weapon. But let's get into some of this other stuff first. So we have the barrel, we have the muzzle, underbarrel, ammunition, magazine. We have the receiver. This could be a huge thing, which I'll talk about here more in a second. We have the rear grip, the stock, and the optic, and of course the laser. And then there's, you build your weapon, you customize your progression. But I'll let them explain this here just a tad bit more before I even break this down more so, because this is something that was confusing me quite a bit.
And what you're going to notice is not only in this title are you able to change out the stock, optic, etc.
This is really cool stuff right here.
There's actually an extra slot, and that is for the receiver.
You have a platform of weapons, which is a family of weapons. Once you get to a receiver unlock within your first weapon, that's when you unlock another weapon. And those modifications that you have already unlocked for the previous weapon now work on that weapon too.
The receiver this time.
Okay, so I'm going to go back here just a little bit. So the first thing they're talking about here is the receiver. This is how you're going to be able to go through different weapons and weapon, variants of the gun. So we have the M4s, the 5.56 NATO receiver.
Once you get to a receiver,
I'll actually let this go through. So we actually have, pretty much down here, we have a tree. Pretty much we have 1, 2, 3. There's actually another one up here. There should be a total of 5 different trees of this specific M4A1. So this M4A1 right here, it only has, let's say, weapon level 1 out of 15, but that's for the light machine gun version of the M4. There's also a 5.56 version, which is your normal AR. There is the M16 version. There is an SMG version, and that all has to do with the receiver, which is the new thing they're adding into the game, which largely dictates how your gun's actually going to function, because that, in real life, dictates how the gun functions.
Your first weapon, that's when you unlock another weapon. And those modifications that you have already unlocked for the previous weapon now work on that weapon too.
And this is actually the really cool part. So is that when you actually unlock a different thing here, like a different weapon attachment, because there's 5 different versions of the gun, or there's however many versions per gun, if you actually, let's for instance, unlock this FSS Shark Fin 90 here for the underbarrel, when you unlock this on, let's say, the light machine gun variant, but it's also an unlockable attachment for the SMG variant, or the SMG receiver, you don't have to go through and re-unlock this underbarrel. You're actually already going to have this unlocked, much like if you have a red dot sight, the SZ Mini here, you'll have that unlocked for every single variant afterwards. So while there may be 20 levels per gun, it doesn't mean there's necessarily, because there's 5 different versions of the gun, that's 100 levels you have to go through. You're going to have some of these attachments already, because they, are, duplicates and they're in that same family tree. You don't need to unlock a red dot for 5 different versions of the same gun. That just wouldn't really make sense. So I really like how they're doing this. So you still have that grind of unlocking stuff. You don't necessarily have to unlock it over and over and over and over again.
This time,
now let's keep this going.
Is driving Gunsmith as it would be in reality, and each of these separate receivers have their own unique progression.
So the receiver for the assault rifle will remain for that assault rifle. But if it's a receiver for the SMG within that platform and you switch to that receiver, then you have the SMG in place. But the modifications that you have already previously done on that assault rifle can move over to that SMG.
So exactly what she was just saying right there is that those attachments, those modifications will be able to move over. So if you replace the receiver, obviously there's certain things that will not like work, but a lot of the different attachment modifications you have, let's say like the i.e. the barrel, the muzzle, stuff like that will then transfer over, of course, because it isn't the M4 platform. It's just the receiver is changing, thus changing it so that they're using the M4, the regular M4, as opposed to the FTAC Recon, which is probably the DMR version, or like the .458 SOCOM, like that you would see in Warzone right now, that pretty much that magazine that nobody ever uses, or in Modern Warfare pubs or anything like that. This would be that down here, and this will be up here, but you can still have the same barrel on both of them. It's just the receiver changes, if that makes sense. And you can also see the weapon tree down here, where you have that's where you're starting out, which is this very first basic M4, but then as you progress, you unlock the receiver, then you unlock another version of the M4, and like another version of the M4, until you have every single version, all 5 of these, at least of what we see right now, unlocked.
Each of those shared attachments that you unlock is now cross-progressible and attachable onto
exactly what I was saying, cross-progressible.
The same class.
This takes away from the grind of having to unlock every single attachment on each weapon every time they want to level up a weapon. What this does.
So this is exactly what I was explaining here, is that you're able to use these specific attachments, and then you're able to then go back through here, and you're going to be able to see there's going to be duplicates that will go through, and you don't have to necessarily re-unlock those again. You're able to then, you know, just actually have all those already. And that's super, super nice. I'm glad they've thought that through, because that'd be a big pain in the butt to have to constantly re-unlock literally everything.
Does is it shows you that one grip that you unlocked on the first weapon is now usable on a different weapon within that platform, and you don't need to re-unlock that weapon.
I'm Joel Emsley. I'm the
that's exactly what I was saying.
Infinity Ward. We are introducing a system.
Now this is really cool, by the way.
How to develop or modify a blueprint like we've never done before.
This is one of my favorite things.
A weapon system that was visually consistent through and through.
What the FTX Cinder Vault allows us to do is to take a platform like the M4, which has tons of
You can see all the different versions of the barrels there.
Every single one of those attachments will be themed cohesively. Will have that unique look, the unique red anodizing of FJX Cinder.
My name is Yi Yang.
So I'll go back to that in just a second to explain that, because that is absolutely huge for the game.
When we set out to create the vault system, we wanted to give players greater ability to customize and add personality to their weapons. At its core, the vault system unlocks every...
Okay, so I got to stop this here real quick, and we're going to go back ever so slightly here so we can talk about this. So this is absolutely huge for Warzone, because... Listen, right now in Warzone, or in Modern Warfare, Cold War, Vanguard, doesn't matter. When you buy a weapon blueprint, one of the things that we're always faced with is that, are the attachments on it going to be good? And if they aren't good, then like we're going to be dealing with pretty much a weapon blueprint that looks really cool, but then as soon as you change a single attachment, the gun loses its entire look. Much like for a lot of the Vanguard guns, if you take, let's say, the stock off the Vanguard weapon, like for instance the Automaton, if you take the stock off, you lose literally half the look of the gun if it's not the correct stock on there. And if it's not the meta stock, then it's like, okay, well now the entire look of your gun is just gone. With this, they have all these different attachments, all these different barrels are that same, like they call it the anodized look for this specific, the FJX Cinder, which is the variant. They have every single attachment combination is going to work together cohesively, so that way you're not losing out on the look of the gun, which is absolutely massive. And I was talking about this for a long time, being like, okay, like when are we finally getting at weapon variants to the point where you don't lose the look of the gun as soon as you change one thing? And this actually allows you to change everything while keeping the same look of the gun, and that's awesome.
To do is to take a platform, one of those.
So we'll skip ahead just here a little bit.
Yi Yang, and I'm a product manager here at Infinity Ward. When we set out to create the vault system, we wanted to give players greater ability to customize and add personality to their weapons. At its core, the vault system unlocks every attachment and allows you to equip any attachment onto your M4 platform that share the same aesthetic.
It's a fantastic
So that's exactly what he's saying, is that you're able to unlock any attachment and to be able to equip it onto it. So you have your, your receiver right here, the 5.56 receiver, but all these different barrels and stuff that are going to have that look for the gunsmith, you can then like interchange out, and it's all going to look the same no matter what version of the barrel or the stock, etc. you have. So that's like absolutely massive and game changing for like how your guns actually are going to look.
I share the same aesthetic.
It's a fantastic type of weapon and blueprint system to introduce into the game, because people like me can sit there and geek out on it.
I consider it to be the ultimate blueprint. It's every single attachment for my personal favorite platform in the game. And
that's like, I mean, and that's incredible. I love this.
And it's going to match no matter what attachment suite you put on it.
The goal was to produce something that players could play with and not break the visual.
Gunsmith.
See, and I like that. The goal is to produce something the players can play with and not break the visual, which is one of the main issues you have with any and all weapon variants in Call of Duty and all three games that are integrated into Warzone: Modern Warfare, Cold War, and Vanguard. So, and as you can see down here, there's one version, the M4, another version, the AR Mike V4_V1. There's another version down here, and they're all going to be cohesive no matter what you do with them. And like I'm telling you, that gets me more hyped than anything, because now my guns actually look cool no matter how I build them.
Overall,
no matter how the meta changes or what gets buffed and nerfed.
This is the game I've been waiting to make a long time.
Pre-order now.
This is the game I've been waiting to play a long time. And also, if those of you guys want to be able to know, the early access or the early access for the open beta is actually about to go live here really soon. What I meant by that is that I just switched over here to my PS5. You can actually download the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 beta for those guys that have actually pre-ordered the game. This is a PlayStation only thing as of right now for the very first weekend, but it comes out here on Friday. So you guys should 100% be getting this thing downloaded, pre-ordered if possible, or you can get a code somewhere online. But pretty much if you're on PS4, PS5, make sure you go ahead and do that, as I'll be, covering this here live on my YouTube channel, of course, making some videos and stuff on it. But I'm really excited to play Modern Warfare 2. If you guys have enjoyed today's video, want to see more Modern Warfare 2 vids, give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys all later. Just turn up to a cap, don't be Randy, and I'm out. Peace.